So hi everyone, I'm here with Sandy, and Sandy's Muslim name is Sakina. Hi Sakina, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
And you actually are a Sakina, huh? With your calmness.
Thank you.
And she is Mrs. Mujahid.
Mr. Huh?
She's Mrs. Mujahid, right?
Oh, Miss Me.
Yeah. Mrs. Mujahid Furniture.
Yes.
And she had a question about Facebook. Tell me what it is.
Right. So basically, as I was explaining, I've always used Facebook just, for two intentions I had: to connect with family, in Colombia, and also to help market, my husband's brand, our business, and also the nonprofit organization Islamist Brand. So I'm just interested in knowing, how to leverage Facebook for marketing. So that's basically what I'm interested in knowing from you.
But you're already doing that.
Am I already doing that right now?
You already said that
Okay.
you're using your Facebook for your husband's branding and
Right.
your organization's branding.
Right.
What
But
is
I'm
very
sure
better
that
doing?
there's probably some, some tricks that I'm not using. I mean, I share, I post, I add, I tag friends, I go to groups, things like that. But I'm sure there's other things that you have some insight on. Like, I didn't know about the whole video and the conferencing on Facebook. That's something that's totally new and very
It's not a
interesting.
big deal. For him it is, but for you, I mean, if you do this more often, it'll be good for you because. So I'll tell you what I think of Facebook, right? Today we're here having.
Yeah.
Right? What's the purpose of breaking bread together?
To get to know each other.
Get to know each other.
Yeah.
And when you get to know each other, what happens next? Anything would happen next.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea of breaking bread together is get to know the commonalities between the people on how we work together and how can we leverage each other's network, how can we leverage each other's information, how can we leverage or take advantage is not the right word, but it's kind of explains, right? How do we, unless we know each other, how do we really do anything? To me, Facebook is like a tool for knowing people human to human. Not on a coffee, but on a lunch or a dinner. Because, and one step further is, it's like inviting somebody to your house. When you invite somebody to your house, you're saying, I'll take a refill. Bonita.
She needed a cup, so she's
Oh.
coming right back.
I'll take some more. There you go. Thank you. Do you speak English? No. Poquito? Okay. Do you like amigo or bonita? Which one's better? Amigas? No bonito? No? Okay.
She said as you wish.
Okay. So, to me, life is about building the relationships, especially when it comes to dawah. You're doing a job, or you're following your heart and teaching people Islam, right? Prophet Muhammad's life, every single thing is about, we copy everything we know about to get to know him, be it a beard, be it his clothes, whatever. We think we try to copy it. He was saying, I'm a private person. And I said, what was Prophet Muhammad doing in Ghar Hira? Was he like giving lectures or anything? No, he was doing meditation. He was being one with the God, right? He was just there alone. He wanted to be alone. But if you stay alone, then how do you preach? How do you show? And in my understanding, the reason people followed Prophet Muhammad was not because he was giving the message of God, because they trusted him. They trusted him that he's not a liar. They trusted him that he was Amin. He was Sadiq. He was Amin, which was, he was always, Sadiq is truthful, and Amin is like, he would, if you put something to him, he would, trustworthy, yeah? Right, so how do you get to know people in today's world? So in today's world, in the older world, imagine, today in Houston there are 8 million people in metro. In Medina, total, was 5,000. So total people was 5,000. I have 800,000 people on my Facebook alone, one person, right? So it's impossible to do the one-on-one relationship today, in my opinion. How do we leverage these technologies to go further? So in my opinion, when you go on Facebook Live and you're having this conversation and I'm sharing and you're sharing and they're getting to know us. Those 800,000 people on my Facebook or a couple of thousand people on your Facebook are not going to do what you tell them to. They're not going to donate even $1 if you ask them to. Not all of them. But some of them will give you 1,000, some of them will give you 100,000. Yeah, I know it's going on. But that $100,000 person came from a person who didn't trust you with $1. So over the years, you kept meeting them, they kept seeing your work, they kept seeing you. Slowly, the mistrust goes away and the trust comes in the picture. So to me, Facebook is a tool for people to give dawah through showing what you really believe, not by hiding behind the camera or not by hiding in your house or going to namaz or zakat or anything. Character is not being shown right now of Muslims. How many Muslims do you know who are like Kardashians, who are going out and showing that, this is how our family life is, this is how real Muslims look like? How many? I don't know anyone. Out of 1.5 billion human beings who call themselves Muslim, nobody is sharing, how do I live my life? They're like, no, you come to our house, you come have dinner with us. How many people can do that? And you're living in people talking to Colombia, you're talking about the rest of the world. You can't talk to them, impossible. So I tell people who are, strict Muslims, for example, or preachers, I tell them, look, Prophet Muhammad or God gave us the book to go and spread it out. In 1400 years, we spread it out to 1.5 billion people. This kid comes in, he calls a book called Facebook, and in 10 years, in 15 years, he reaches out to 2.5 billion people. Dude, what's going on? You're doing something incorrect. So use the technology which is available to us to leverage your message to more people. So why are we just having dinner? All of a sudden 26 other people joined us and they can have this amazing lunch hosted by this amazing guy and his amazing wife. Why can't they be part of the conversation? So when I tagged you, all of a sudden those people are going to keep on seeing your life, and you don't have to post anything. You can post your food, which is neutral. It doesn't have a religion on it. It doesn't have it's food. It's when I ask on my Facebook questions all the time. I have a software called ifttt.com. It's a software which you can install and ask anything on your wall. You can program the Facebook. So every week I ask, tell me a name for a baby girl. And every other week I ask, tell me a name of a baby boy. Every time, 600 people will write a name. Every time. No, people who I don't know, they just come. And people who are very powerful, they would come and suggest. But if I ask for advice, they don't comment. They're scared to give advice because the other people might think, judgmental. But a name or a color or a favorite color or a favorite food, it's not judgmental. So anything which is judgmental, people will not reply to you. They will be scared. Well, if you ask somebody, suggest a name for a baby, you can suggest. But if you say, where do I buy a car from? You're going to say, okay, if I suggest him where to buy a car from, maybe the car breaks down, then he's going to come to me and say, hey, you suggested me to this guy, right? So these are more about sociology. These are all sociology questions, which our friend would understand better. So to me, spreading religion or spreading love is about knowing the person, heart to heart. And to me, the most powerful tool right now we have is this Facebook. And video is even further up because now you actually can feel the person. It's not just a photo. When I meet him, or if I watch this video, I can feel the energy. I'm meeting you, I can feel the energy. From a photo, you could be like having a bad day, where well you're just calm. It's like me. I'm always like this. I'm always like mellow, you know. So this is how I see Facebook, and to me, it's nothing but a tool for communication from one to many. If every good Muslim starts to do this, you don't have to say Muslims are bad. Nobody can. You don't have to defend yourself. This is how I am.
And I mean, I think that that goes right along what we've always, believed in, and our foundation in Islam and Spanish comes from, Mujahid and I studying, graphics and media, multimedia, and film production. And it's something that we've always told the Muslim community from the beginning. It was our intention to help them improve with the media, because we have to tell our story and not let others tell our story. So I feel like you're just saying the same thing, but on a personal level.
And to me, a page, like for example, he said, I have a page. People just go like it.
Yeah.
I said, why should I? I don't know you. Why should I like your page?
Yeah.
So everybody who likes your page, you bringing them to lunch? No, you bring people, certain kind of people, you take them to a different level. It's a filter process. To me, a personal profile is like, as I said earlier, inviting somebody to your house, inviting them to lunch. And slowly, out of the millions of people you have, you select certain people who you want to do that with. You need to do that with, because as a human being, we need to connect that. It's work, but that's what you're in for. You're doing the work. It's going to be different. But it's about building person-to-person relationship to me. It's not about marketing to me anymore.
Yeah.
It's not about...
It's a different perspective on it.
Yeah, I have a totally different perspective on it. So you're not just connecting to... So I was telling him I was not allowed in this country for 11 years. I had to know this culture. I had to make friends here. And I had to show them that I exist, because I wanted to work with them. So I had to use Facebook to understand them, to connect with them, and I leveraged it.
Yeah.
And it was, if I was not, if I was in this country, I would be a different person. Because I was not in this country, I had to use these tools to learn about cultures and everything. So now to me, Facebook is not just a Facebook. It's like, to me, it's like time traveling. It's like country traveling. I can learn about a culture just by having a friend from that country, because all of a sudden they're going to eat their food and I will see them, and I haven't seen any chicken. Last time I saw this was in Poland, and in Poland they eat chicken like this also. It's called kurczyk, and but they eat the same thing, but they beat up the chicken, and that's how they make it flat.
Yeah.
So again, it's something which you enjoy. That's why you travel, right? To learn, and that's what we're all hungry for.
I just learned something about Poland.
Yeah.
We have something in common.
It's
We
very,
do
it's
chicken.
like your food. It's actually less spicy than yours.
Really?
It's really boring food. I had to have a Tabasco bottle with me all the time.
Because it's not spicy at all.
Yeah.
But you know,
But
it's
this is
interesting.
nice.
Mujahid and I, because we're both creatives, we think about, how to tell a story. And, the fact that we are Latino and we are Muslim and we are American and we grew up here in America, it's a different story, right? And so we've talked about sharing our lives and how we raise our children as Muslims here in America, being Latino, when we go to Colombia, how they interact with people. So we know the importance of it, but I think that we've spent a lot of time doing this for others. And so
We've been doing
it's
it for others
important.
and for Islam and for everybody else, and forgetting about ourselves, because it was never about us.
So here's a small little difference between what I'm doing and what you want to do or what you're coming from. So you were storytellers.
Yes,
So you were crafting the story.
yes.
And so that it reaches to millions and billions of people. Like I was saying, if I had the opportunity, I would make Quran the movie. Why? I would make the Messenger movie again with Tom Cruise and Angelina Jolie. Honestly, why? Because 2 billion people watch it. There's nowhere on earth. There's no other way. This is it, right? Movies spread.
Yeah, it's the highest medium of communication.
Correct. That's the best way to
It
communicate.
imports culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, exports and imports culture.
Right?
Yeah.
But on a personal level, like this, what you're doing, if not everybody can be you guys, movie makers.
It's
It
raw.
takes a lot of money.
Yeah.
Whereas it's raw, it's real, right?
Yeah.
So, but if 100 people from Colombia were doing this, how much would I know about Colombia? I would start speaking Spanish. You know, I have lived like 20 days or 30 days in Spain. That's why I know like a couple of words of Spanish. But that's it. Yeah, bonita, for example. So, but I don't know anything about South America. But if there was somebody doing this raw, you know, there's so much crafted information out there. But and everybody's saying by 2020, 80% of the internet traffic, or even 90% of the internet traffic will be video. And the devices allow us to do this, right? So,
And what's amazing is when I used to study multimedia I graduated in 2003.
Right.
They used to always tell us everything will be video at some point in time. So what we built with Islam in Spanish was to get to that point. And now, not only is it producing, you know, the actual content, but actually distributing it. And so distribution is where it's a whole nother monster. I mean, we can craft messages, we can, you know, have the equipment and all that, but when it comes to distribution, it takes a specific skill set with this medium to be able to even target and all these things that are more mathematical in nature, I think.
I agree with you. But the real there is power. You know, you understand the meaning of barakat? You know, you're Muslims now.
Blessings, yeah.
So there is you can have $1 million and the other guy has $100 and he has more barakah than the $1 million guy and he can achieve more than the $100 guy. And that's where the barakat comes in. That's where I said kun fayakun will come in. Because there is a superior power out there which has given us the tools, but still, there is still too much power there. So now, when you create raw content, there's barakat in it. Not all of them will go viral. Not all movies go hit.
Yeah.
You don't know if you will create a movie, it will become hit or
I
not.
think raw footage for us is like, you know, the backstory that we always and we've talked about this where people would really benefit from just seeing when the brothers interact and they're doing their thing on their own because it's real. It's the real deal. Like it's not edited.
Now imagine how many mosques are there in Houston alone?
Many.
80 plus.
Yeah.
10 years ago it was 80. How many mosques are there in the United States? Thousands. How many are broadcasting their khutbah even every day? No.
Very few. We do because that's just we do because we needed to get that word out.
Right.
We're broadcasting since the beginning. We
Correct.
broadcast everything over there.
Right.
But again, it's for that, you know, the Islam and Spanish world has been created online.
Correct.
But for
imagine-
ourselves, it hasn't been the same. We don't broadcast ourselves and doing everything.
Right. Now imagine your work is dawah. Now imagine how many Catholics or Christians or Jews will actually just walk into the mosque. None of them will. Because they're scared. Media has scared
Few,
them.
yeah.
Very, very few. It's like
few.
less than 0.01%. Right? If it's 8 million people in this city, if 1% is trying, that means 800,000 or 80,000 people should be doing this every week, but it's not going to happen that way. But on Facebook, they will come and they will try to watch the video and they will be, again, as I said, initially they will be scared, but slowly, they will no longer be scared of it. And that's what we want to do.
Right.
You want your children to be equal to a white American. You don't want them to become like, oh, he's a Latino American.
Different.
Yeah, you don't, right. How would that happen? The only way it can happen is when they're scared of you. Or when the masses are doing a certain different way, right?
Yeah.
So,
They're only scared if they don't know you.
but we're scared of stuff what we don't know.
Well, we don't know, yes.
That's all we're scared of. But if you take out the fear,
Right.
everything changes.
Yeah, we totally get that.
We talk about this, and we talk about this with this issue of the message of what this is regarding Islam and so on, but we haven't like personalized it in a way to where it's like, watch my life and then you'll know. Because one of the things that we realize that has been, I don't want to say a downfall, but it's a shortcoming that we realize, like with the Muslim community, a lot of things happen on a personality based, not based on concept. So why would somebody go to a convention because so-and-so speaker is speaking? So it's this popularity game situation. But when people go there, they listen to that person, they go home, that spark of enthusiasm is gone. But whenever it's about concepts and it's about something solid that can go beyond personalities, that's what we're interested in. So we build things that then can create a cultural shift. And so we're on the back end trying to create that while people don't really understand the amount of work that takes. And so if they do see us speaking, it's like, oh, that's that guy and he's X, Y, and Z. But we're creating something different on the back end. And that is how we craft whatever it is that we do. Eventually, people feel the hit of change, but they don't know how it came together or how to do it, right? It's like reverse engineering. And so nowadays, when there's a hit on something, it's funny because even when listening to some of the people speaking, they think based on what they see that we do, they're like, oh yeah, they did this in X, Y, and Z, but we need X, Y, and Z. But it's like you're only seeing the outcome of what your analysis gives you. But to create something, it's become 15, 16 years worth of work, right? If they were to start whatever it is that they're saying, it would also be 15, 16 years worth of work. We haven't shown the back-end process. And that is the way kind of we looked at Facebook. If we show the back-end, and our children, I've been concerned about showing my children because, children are, very priceless human beings, man, and you put them out there. I mean, I know they have a lot to offer. I was telling you, when we go to Colombian places, people want to go over there and talk to them because they're like, oh, why do you wear this on your head and things like that. All right, now the dessert is here. They're serious dessert, okay? Like, you're gonna see some dessert, my man.
Did you get that stomach I was ordering?
que si le trajo el otro estómago, que lo ordenó también. El hombre dijo que necesitaba otro estómago.
You can join us. Okay, Mustafa, I was already telling about you that you are my only brother, cousin, who we grew up with together. Mustafa is sending salam to you.
Oh, salam, man. Mashallah, I've known that brother for a long time.
Yeah, mashallah.
Yes.
And
His family comes to our son
yeah.
too, mashallah, for
Look at this.
Ramadan.
that's like Colombian gulab jamun.
Esto es arequipe, ¿sí o no?
Son brevas con arequipe.
Con brevas.
Muy buenas.
Y un poquitico más de café cuando tengas
What's
tiempo.
the name?
Exacto, ya te
Brevas. This is from the fig family, so it's almost like dates, but it's figs, but they're soft. This right here is called arequipe. It's made with like, it's almost like caramel sugar cane, and then cheese. This is flan.
libre la mesa, la verdad.
Yeah, tranquila.
This is flan, and then this is tres leches. 3 milks. They do this every day here, like
Mustafa is
fresh.
saying I'm jealous you didn't invite me here for lunch.
Mustafa, you're next. I was telling him, man, whoever comes to really, share a little meal over here with this Colombian restaurant, it's a minute away from the center. Next time you come for Juma, inshallah, you're there, come have lunch. This is Subhanallah.
We always miss each other, mashallah.
What's the name of the restaurant?
La olla.
La olla,
is
la
the pot. It's called the pot. Not the sort of pot that people understand.
Bring your pot with you. They don't sell it here.
So this is the way
Did I answer your question yet?
Yes, you did. Yeah, I got a totally different perspective on
My
Facebook.
my
It's
perspective on
different.
Facebook is very
Very
different.
different. Yeah. No, it's great though.